everyone. In our previous lecture, we have seen the coupling of proton with the nearby proton or adjacent protons. Same we have discussed a little bit about the coupling of carbon with nearby protons. But we didn't discuss anything about other NMR active nuclei, that they will show also coupling with proton or carbon, or they will not show any coupling. So let us start with that. So coupling of protons with other nuclei. Other nuclei means beside proton and carbon. So any nuclei which has I greater than 0 is NMR active nuclei and give a NMR spectrum. But different nuclei such as proton, deuterium, carbon and fluorine require different radio frequency for giving NMR spectrum under a given magnetic field, because the gap between different energy states for each nuclei is different under the same magnetic field. For example, if you are applying 14,000 Gauss magnetic field, so the gap or the energy required for the transition between lower energy state and higher energy state for proton, deuterium, carbon and fluorine require 60 MHz, 9 MHz, 15 MHz and 56 MHz respectively. Thus, this shows if you are working on the condition for NMR of a particular nucleus, signal due to other nuclei will not be observed. Like if you are working for proton, you will not see any signal due to carbon or fluorine or deuterium. You will see signal only for protons, because at that magnetic field and that particular frequency only proton can resonate. However, any nucleus having I greater than 0 can show spin-spin coupling with proton to which it covalently bonded or nearby. Carbon does not show splitting as we have seen in previous lecture with proton because its natural appearance is only 1.1%, but other nuclei such as fluorine, phosphorus, deuterium, those are bonded to same carbon or nearby to proton may split the NMR signal according to 2Ni plus 1 rule. So this is actually 2Ni plus 1 rule, which become N plus 1 rule for nuclei having I equal to 1 by 2. Because if you put the value of I, which is 1 by 2 in this rule, in this way, 2n multiply 1 by 2 plus 1, it will be n plus 1. So we simply say n plus 1 rule instead of 2ni plus 1 rule for nuclei having I equal to 1 by 2. So it is important to note here any nuclei having I greater than 1 by 2 which has electric quadrupole moment, as we have seen, because we don't consider those nuclei in NMR, but they have electric quadrupole moment also. But if this type of nuclei attach to proton, they can broaden the signal. So as a result, no spin-spin splitting is observed. For example, if we take the example of nitrogen, nitrogen has intermediate electric quadrupole moment. So proton attached to nitrogen gives a broad peak. So you will not see any splitting in the case of proton attached to nitrogen. So there is no spin-spin splitting observed. On the other hand, deuterium, which has only small electric quadrupole moment, that means it's lower than nitrogen, does not broaden the peak and shows spin-spin splitting with the proton. So finally, we will see that how much electric quadrupole moment nuclei has. If it has more electric quadrupole moment, it will not show any spin splitting. It will just broaden the peak. So nuclei having I equal to 1 by 2, such as 19F and 31P. So we are adding more nuclei beside proton and carbon here. These nuclei show spin splitting with proton according to N plus 1 rule because they do not have any electric quadrupole moment. So now when we will consider about organic molecules, we also have look for these nuclei in our molecule. If they are available in our molecule, they will also show splitting with the proton or carbon. Now, coupling of protons with 19F and 31. So 1s to 19F coupling, if we discuss this first. So fluorine 19 is the only natural isotope of fluorine and has I equal to 1 by 2. So the extent of 2J and 3J coupling value for 19F to 1H are much larger than typical 1S to 1H coupling constant. And the effect of 2J and 3J coupling of 1S to 19F decreases as the proton moves away from the electronegative fluorine atom. As you can see in these two examples, the coupling between this proton and fluorine attached on same carbon means there will be 2J coupling that has value 30 Hertz. But if it's on different carbons, on adjacent carbons, so means there will be 3J coupling that goes 20 Hertz. So that's it decreasing as proton going away from fluorine. Now take the another example of these molecules which has two type of protons, A and B. Now A will couple protons B to triplet and the proton B will couple with proton A to triplet. So finally we should have two triplet in the NMR of this molecule. But if you look in the spectrum of this molecule, instead of two triplet, we have two set of triplet of triplet. Triplet of triplet, triplet of triplet. Why we are getting this triplet of triplet? So the reason for this, first HA protons will couple with HB proton and split their signal to triplet. Now we have one fluorine also, which also has I equal to 1 by 2, will split that signal to another doublet according to n plus 1 rule. So finally we will get here doublet, triplet. Triplet due to protons and doublet due to fluorine. So for each set of protons will give us doublet, triplet. So in this same way we observe the coupling between phosphorus and proton as we discussed in case of fluorine. Now coupling of carbon with other nuclei. So in case of carbon NMR, we do not observe the coupling between two carbon nuclei due to low natural abundance and between proton and carbon nuclei since we observe proton decouple carbon NMR. But carbon shows spin-spin coupling with other nuclei such as deuterium, fluorine and phosphorus, etc. As you know, we use deuterated solvent such as CdCl3, CD3OD, DMSO-D6, deuterated acetone in proton NMR as well as in carbon NMR. In proton NMR, we do not see any peak of deuterated solvent because they do not have any proton. Like if you see in CdCl3, it doesn't have any proton. But they give signal in carbon NMR because all of them has carbon. And that signal will be split due to deuterium nuclei which has I equal to 1 according to 2Ni plus 1 rule. So let's take the example of CdCl3. CdCl3 is the most commonly used solvent for NMR. It gives rise to a 3-peak multiplet in the proton decoupled carbon NMR spectrum. Because it has carbon which will give signal in this NMR and this carbon also attached with deuterium. So deuterium will split the signal of carbon into triplet according to 2Ni plus 1 rule. And the center peak will be at 77 ppm. So this is the example of the peak in carbon NMR for CdCl3. So it gives this 3 peak with in 1:1 into 1 ratio. Next example is DMSO D6, which is frequently used as a solvent for carboxylic acid and other compounds that are difficult to dissolve in CdCl3. And according to 2Ni plus 1 rule, it will split the carbon signal into 2 plus 3 into 1 plus 1 into 7 peaks. As you can see here, since there are two equivalent carbons, so only one multiplet of 7 peaks with intensity 1:3:6:7:6:3:1 will observe. So now this is important to note here that Pascal triangles works to find the intensity of peaks in a multiplet only for nuclei having I equal to 1 by 2. So it will not work for deuterium. So we cannot find the intensity of the peak in case of splitting of signals due to deuterium. So we have to remember these tables. So if there is no deuterium connected to carbon, there will be only single peak. If one deuterium is connected to carbon, there will be 3 peaks into 1:1 into 1 ratio. If there is a 2 deuterium, there will be 5 lines with 1:2:3:2:1 ratio. So you can see as number of deuterium is increasing, number of peaks or lines in a multiplet is increasing with these ratios. So thank you very much and have a very nice day.